two competitors. Your next world champion is on stage right now, guys. Keep it going for him. All right, here we go into the match now. Both trainers throwing out their Pokemon. We get the Heatran and Kangaskhan lead there on the top screen, and the Kangaskhan Aegislash. What is going on? Same leads as last time, taken to the very final second to choose the same Pokemon, but maybe it's the last two.
Yeah, both sides completely unfazed by the previous game, just doing the same thing. I think that kind of makes sense in the sense that, I don't know, maybe if the Thunder Wave rolls, the Swagger rolls had gone differently, both the first two games results could have been flipped. So maybe both sides just think their strategy is right, and they're going to put this one in the hands of the game a little bit.
Yeah, definitely, Sky. I agree with you. It's going to be really interesting to just see those choices. We saw it a little bit earlier in the top four, the same leads, but choosing completely different moves as Kangaskhan there for, I want to say, Hideyuki goes Mega, and or actually that was Shoma's Kangaskhan there going Mega, and now we will get the Mega Kangaskhan from Hideyuki, deciding to keep both of these Pokemon in here, so no switching so far on any Pokemon. This is interesting. A Protect now from Hideyuki, not wanting to maybe get faked out or take any damage. Will it be another double Protect? No King Shield here. It looks like it's the substitute this time from Shoma. So I'm really liking that choice, and I don't think it will be an attack into that Aegislash, considering there was a Mega for Shoma, and Aegislash going on the offensive with a Shadow Ball, most likely breaking the substitute here. So a good play by Shoma, not really taking that much damage, and Kangaskhan really not taking any as well. And now Aegislash out in the open for some damage.
Yeah, I like that play by the Aegislash side of the field, though. We've seen what can happen so far in this tournament when you give Heatran a substitute for free, and with no fake out on one side of the field, Protect on the other, you kind of know that Kangaskhan can't really do anything to stop that substitute from going up. So even though it's kind of a risky play, Aegislash gets that Shadow Ball off. If it had been a Heat Wave instead, it would have just got a knockout. So yeah. I'm really seeing the power of weakness policy, I guess, to kind of enable some plays that normally you can't make. And even though Aegislash is going to have to probably get back into its King Shield now, unless it wants to be very risky, it does prevent Heatran from getting set up and gets Kangaskhan now free to attack, not having to worry about that fake out.
And we saw that it definitely takes at least one power-up punch in order for that Kangaskhan to take out that Heatran, so I don't think Heatran has much to worry about on this turn from Aegislash, so definitely can risk it, I think, on this one, as we see Aegislash going King Shield here, and both players staring intently at their 3DS screens here as we get a huge hit from the Kangaskhan, hanging on with 9 hit points. Hideyuki will definitely be hitting back here. Shoma maybe hoping to pick up the knockout there. It's a big return, so both players just really trading Kangaskhan's almost at this point here as Kangaskhan hangs on in the yellow. What will Heatran do, though? It's a Heat Wave. It connects, and I think we will see the Kangaskhan faint for Hideyuki.
Yeah, Kangaskhan can't hang on this time. Very cleanly knocked out. You kind of see the power of a low kick rather than power-up punch.
Yes.
Though, I guess a return as powerful as the one that Shoma did there would probably still have put it in range of Heat Wave. Previously, we'd kind of seen Landorus coming in a little bit earlier, helping Kangaskhan reduce damage from the attacks on the other side so it can survive. This time, Landorus coming in a turn too late there. Kangaskhan's already been knocked out, but at least this Aegislash does get back into shield form. Again, kind of creating that threat of, well, do you really want to Heat Wave and risk me firing a boosted attack back at you?
Exactly, and choosing his Pokemon very quick there. Just knew Landorus is coming out, and we still have not seen that fourth and final Pokemon from Hideyuki, so it could be a game changer just waiting back there in a Pokeball.
Makes you wonder also, it's a Pokemon that can't handle these two Pokemon well. When you move that quickly, sometimes if you're on the other side, you kind of think, well, I guess there wasn't too much of a decision for my opponent to make there, so that could be important information for Shoma to hone in on.
Yeah, he might know that exactly who it is. Shoma now deciding to switch out here, realizing that Landorus might be able to get rid of it here, and switching into his own Landorus. Going to go ahead and get an Intimidate off onto Hideyuki's Landorus. And interesting enough, that reduced stage of attack on Aegislash will lower its Shadow Sneak.
And not as relevant as usually is.
And we do see the Protect there from the Heatran, not taking any damage on this Rock Slide, and a little bit of damage onto the Landorus there now, who has Hideyuki decided to target with this Aegislash here. It's going to be a Shadow Ball, doing a nice chunk of damage there, taking the Landorus down to about 50% health.
Kind of fun that that's a Shadow Ball and not a Flash Cannon. I'm not scared of you, Kangaskhan. I know you're switching out.
Yeah. That's very, very true there. A huge risk, considering you would not be able to hit into a normal type with a Ghost type attack.
Still pretty good positioning for both sides. Heatran didn't really get anything out of protecting there, perhaps expecting to be double targeted instead. So a decent advantage now on the health of the Pokemon on the field. but the Pokemon advantage going the other direction. Very close match here. Either side can still easily take this one.
And I do believe last time we saw Shoma's Landorus go first, I think, with that knockoff. So Shoma may be being able to use that to his advantage.
Yeah, having the quicker Landorus is a huge deal here, especially for Rock Slide.
And it does look like it's actually a Protect on Hideyuki's Landorus here. Aegislash may be going King Shield as well, so essentially a double Protect here. There will be no damage taken for Hideyuki on this turn, unless someone's got access to a move that I don't know about. So let's see what we get from Shoma here, who's looking to hit both these Pokemon, but it does not attack directly, I think, into that Aegislash there, so no reduced attack.
Yeah, that's important, too. It's going to be key to try to probably get a knockoff on that Aegislash when the opportunity arises. If he thinks he can get a Heat Wave off as well, the combination of those two attacks should be able enough to knock out Aegislash before it's able to take advantage of that weakness policy. Unfortunately, the problem with that is that a Shadow Sneak and an Earthquake could probably do the same thing to Heatran if there's a way for the other side to pull it off. Unfortunately, you don't want an Earthquake with your own Aegislash in the field, so finding the opportunity to do that's going to be dangerous. Unless expecting a double target in the other slot, since you can activate your own Aegislash's weakness policy just as easily.
Yeah, we've seen how much damage it can do even with a Shuka Berry on it, although I do think that we saw that Intimidate a little bit earlier, right?
Yeah, I think you need a little bit of extra damage probably because of the Berry and the Intimidate.
Yes, and here comes the Protect there of Heatran. And we're going to get moves from our knockoff now from Shoma into Hideyuki's Landorus there. Just trying to get rid of that item as we get some moves back, and it looks like great Protect there. Maybe a superpower, I'm not sure on the entire moveset here of this Landorus. And oh my gosh, great Protect there from Shoma.
Yeah, Heatran stopping all those attacks. And that's kind of the strength of Heatran, right? It's such a dominating Pokemon. You don't want to just give him free substitutes to start firing off Heat Waves recklessly. It's a very difficult Pokemon for a lot of Pokemon to damage because of its great defensive typing. So the temptation is, you think you have an opportunity to get it just to fire a bunch of attacks that way. Heatran's blocked a bunch of attacks this round, and that's kind of what you have to do to keep an advantage like this one. Heatran's been on the field the entire battle right now, barely taking any damage. I believe it did most of the damage to itself, so... it's doing pretty good.
It's really sinking in for me right now, Scott. This is the last match of the Grand Finals. A ton is on the line. It's 1-1, and it's going to be absolutely incredible as Shoma looks to take his 4 Pokemon against the 3 Pokemon of Hideyuki. We see the Shield form now for Hideyuki on that Aegislash there in the bottom right. Not going to take any damage there, and not going to take any damage, of course, from a King Shield going into Shield form. But the Rock Slide should do something here to the Landorus there of Hideyuki, and it's going to hit back now with that superpower. Is it going to be enough after his item is knocked off? No! Heatran is still in there. We see the stat drops there for Hideyuki's Landorus, and what did Heatran decide to do? Oh no, I think Shoma attacking directly into that Aegislash, maybe with a flamethrower.
Yeah, that it's also now too weak to use a substitute, so a bunch of things not going exactly right for Heatran there, but not being knocked out. We kind of, again, see the power of some of these Pokemon trained a little bit more defensively. Probably neither Earthquake or Superpower really being an option to pick up a knockout there because of the Shuka Berry, Heatran being just healthy enough. And Landorus is actually in a lot of trouble now. Even if it does pick up a knockout on this Heatran, it's reduced its defense by using Superpower, which is going to get it to a point where the enemy Landorus, if it can't knock it out, it's going to be incredibly close. And, that, again, once you get down to 2 Pokemon, just so limiting, once you can't switch anymore, you don't want to be the first player to fall down to that position unless you've got a big advantage from it. Still a close game, but this turn's going to be very important.
We see the Protect now again on that Heatran slot, and Shoma should be going first here with a Rock Slide. Will it do enough through the reduced defense there? Yes, it does! Shoma picking up the fate on Hideyuki's Landorus, and as you said, Scott, Hideyuki not left with a lot of options. He only has 2 Pokemon. But what will we see from Aegislash here as it goes into Blade form? It's going to be a Flash Cannon doing quite a bit of damage, but not enough to get rid of that very, very bulky Assault-vested Landorus. And Landorus hanging on in the red, and we will see the final Pokemon for Hideyuki. It is, of course, the Volcarona that has been in every single match.
Yeah, not too surprising here to see Volcarona come in, and it could make a big difference here. Heatran's low enough. Normally a Pokemon that pretty much stops Volcarona from doing anything, but shouldn't take too much to finish it off. However, still going to be very important to try to knock out that Heatran. You don't want to get stuck in a position where Heatran at relatively full health has to face off for Volcarona. However, Aegislash, with the Shadow Sneak normally threatening knockouts here, unfortunately, I believe it's been intimidated, so it's going to have a hard time doing that. And the clock is also ticking down. With a 4-2 advantage, even if Volcarona could somehow close this game on its own, it only has a handful of turns left to do it. If Shoma's not going to win this World Championship, it's going to have to be someone changing something fast. The clock is ticking down. Only a few turns left.
Yeah, that is absolutely huge. You're right, Scott. These matches have actually been taking a while, and it does actually look like Hideyuki going to go ahead and protect again, preserving that Aegis Slash with a King Shield. And Volcarona probably not going to like taking the rock slide if that's what Shoma has decided to do here. And there it is. It connects, and we're going to see that health drop big time. 25 hit points left on the Volcarona there, who looks to be bulking up.
Yeah, see that quiver dance. If it can survive this turn, that could be a big deal.
Let's see Shoma raising his hands. Oh no, does not connect on what I believe was maybe a heat wave then.
Yeah, the heat wave probably would have clinched the championship for Shoma, but Volcarona now showing that yet another Pokemon can survive with very little health. Now is that boosted speed, special attack, and special defense from using Quiver Dance. Most likely the quickest Pokemon in the field. Now it's a very dangerous situation for Shoma. Even though he's got a big advantage here, Volcarona's a Pokemon that can help turn this around. He doesn't want to waste too many attacks and a potential protects and let Aegis Slash pick up knockouts, but you can't just ignore this Volcarona. Even the full health Pokemon remaining on Shoma's side could be in a lot of danger here.
Again, not much time left on the clock. Really only, depending on how long these players take, maybe 6 to 7 turns left on this one. Hideyuki staying incredibly calm for being at such a disadvantage right here. And we do see the Giga Drain, I think, there on that Volcarona, getting a little bit of hit points back and fainting that Landorus. And let's see what we get. There it is. A Heat Wave should do a ton here. Oh my gosh, picking up the feint on Hideyuki's Pokemon, as well as catching the burn, activating the weakness policy there, but the burn is absolutely huge, and it's only a matter of protects before this one is over.
That it is. Aegis Slash limited in turns. It's going to try to find a way to knock out 3 Pokemon in 3 turns to have a chance here without being knocked out itself.
No, it is going to be absolutely incredible if something like that does happen. It's going to be very, very difficult. We see the Shadow Ball finishing off that Pokemon, and Shoma will be bringing in the next 2 Pokemon here, and I think it will be Kangaskhan again on this one, as he led with it a little bit earlier there in the burn, doing work. Only 32 hit points left, maybe only 2 turns for Aegis Slash.
Yeah, time is definitely limited now. We see the full health Thunderous coming in. We do know it has Protect. Kangaskhan does not, but pretty tough to imagine way out of this one. Kangaskhan likely to go for a Sucker Punch here. Thunderous can do pretty much anything it wants. Looks like Shoma most likely to pull this off, and we see him run.
There it is, guys. Both players shaking hands, and Shoma Honami is your 2015 Pokemon Video Game World Champion. As he celebrates it again, passes out no shoes, knocked his shoes right off. He's done, folks. He is done.
Pretty exhausting battle, as you can see there, but he played really well and deserved to come out on top. Seems like it took a lot out of him. And,
I don't know.
Relax now. He's played fantastically all weekend. He's secured himself the title of world champion, the big scholarship of $10,000, and now it's time to sleep on the stage.
Yeah, agreed there. I don't know if he's going to make it over here for the interview. I totally understand. It has been a grueling 3 days of competitive play here, and of course, I want to say congratulations to Hideyuki. Making it this far, as you said, Scott, just found out that I have a chance maybe to play from playing the previous world champion and being the victor in a series of matches with him. And so an impressive outing from Hideyuki. And again, Shoma, congratulations on being the world champ.
Yeah, I mean, great play by both players, and you're just making it to the World Finals is a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Thousands and thousands of players compete over the course of the season trying to get to this point. They're the 2 that made it all the way to the end, and I think they both can be pretty proud of the performance they put up, win or lose in this match.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible. I cannot wait to hear what is actually on Shoma's mind after just falling over a big round. It sounds like I hear the crowd cheering him on maybe as he makes his way across the stage there. What a fun match to even watch. You can't write it any better. Best of 3 goes to Game 3, the World Championships 2015. Japan having a huge showing here, finally bringing the Masters Championship back.
It's been a long time. I think that's a big part of his story, right? The first time a Japanese player didn't win the World Championships and the Video Game World Championships was 2010 when Ray Rizzo won his first championship for the U.S. Part of that, the Video Game Showdown 2008 2009, both won by Japan, and they'd been incredibly dominant to that point.
Yeah.
It seemed like they'd win forever. Unfortunately, weren't able to compete in 2011. 2012, best finish was 8th place. Ryosuke almost did it for them in 2013 with a 2nd place finish. But this year, finally, Japan not only taking the World Championships, but all 7 of the top slots in the Masters division. Only 1 player from Germany able to make it to the top cut outside of Japan. So
calling all trainers. calling all trainers. You guys have seen what Japan can do. It is time to go up against them. It's almost world versus Japan now. They look so incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that should be a wake-up call for most of the rest of the world, right? I mean, as much as people like to say, like, oh, maybe a different day, the tournament would have gone differently. When 7 of the top players are from the same country, as a group, they're doing something right, right? And maybe everyone else should take notice, try to figure out what you can do to be maybe more prepared for the next year's World Championships, to play a little bit better. We saw a lot of matches over the course of this weekend where the match was just controlled so well. Kangaskhan's fake out was a big part of a lot of those. We see that ending up becoming a world champion winning championship winning tactic. But I think that it's important for players now to just kind of think about, how can I manage games better? How can I stay a few turns ahead of my opponent? You can't just win by trading every turn, just trying to win the turn. You got to win the battle. You've got to think ahead. And we saw some really, really wise and effective play by the trainers here this weekend.
Yeah, and actually, interesting enough, we did see 3 different Mega Pokemon make it to the World Championships and actually win this time. It wasn't all Kangaskhan, and it wasn't last year either, but it does manage to prevail still in the 2015 format with access to so many new Pokemon. Kangaskhan really showing that it is a continued threat.
Yeah, I think that's actually kind of a cool story here. I think Mega Kangaskhan, there's more tools to stop it than ever before, but players are worried about so many different Pokemon this year, where last year it was just kind of Kangaskhan and everything else, and maybe they forgot about it a little bit. Maybe they thought that other players wouldn't try Kangaskhan after it had a pretty abysmal performance in last year's World Championships. That ended up being a mistake. Kangaskhan taking most of the top slots in the Masters division here, and something these players are going to want to maybe think about again next year. You can't ignore anything as big of a threat as Kangaskhan and expect to come out on top, but that's part of that. Good to see that in each age division, players showing different megas can win. Gardevoir, Charizard, Kangaskhan, kind of 3 of the big 4 megas. Unfortunately, a Mega Salamence not having the greatest tournament of its Pokemon career. Maybe next year.
Surprisingly, making a lot of appearances, I think, at the national level, but not quite being able to have a presence here at the World Championships. Scott, I want to say it has been an absolute pleasure sharing the stage with you here. I think that we are going to a quick break, guys.